Vanny, bring me everyone.
What do you mean, everyone?
Everyone! I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass.
Barry Manilow know that you raid his wardrobe?
Let me explain something to you. I am not Mr. Lebowski. You're Mr. Lebowski. I'm the dude.
No one is to stone anyone until I blow this whistle.
You can't fight in here. This is the war room.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
Lord, you can imagine where it goes from here.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the Zedos Gang podcast. I'm Joseph Buchanan and this is Sacha Allari. We are going to go straight into it. We're going to go straight into reviewing, well not reviewing, this is not a review show. We're going to go straight into Bond, Daniel Craig confirming Bond 25 as his next film. Do you think that's a given?
Good for him.
Okay, what do you make of? Do you think they can wean another one out of him?
Yeah, I think they can.
Really, you think so?
I think if they give him the space to do, rather than hash one out straight away, I think if they give him the time to pursue other projects and stuff, so it becomes something that he can come back to, I think, then yeah, fine. I think they can entice him to another one. Because if you think about it, since the last one, he hasn't really done a lot. Well, he has done a lot, but nothing that's really set the box office ablaze or anything where there's no chart. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think having a franchise like Bond just kind of allows Daniel Craig to go experiment and do those smaller films that he wants to do and practically do anything he wants. You know? And you got to understand this, the Broccoli's, they decide when they need the next Bond. Do you know what I mean? And they're rich. You know what I mean? They're rich. Sony's not got a gun to their head. No studio has a gun to their head when the next Bond comes out. The only reason why when a new Bond comes along, they churn out 2 or 3 back to back, is to get audiences used to the current Bond. They did the same thing with Pierce Brosnan. They tried to do it with Timothy Dalton, but then, shit happened there. That's even what they did with Roger Moore. The first couple consistently came out like year after year. Yeah. And then they stopped for like 2 years or stopped for 3 years. Because you got to understand, Roger Moore was Bond for like 17 years. You know what I mean? Throughout the 70s and the early 80s.
Didn't Sean Connery come back for one?
He came back for one, but that was a different era. They were churning one out every year, like literally every year. Because it was a short turnaround. But when you got to the 70s and the 80s, it was, these Bond films were bigger films, more action-packed than what the Connery ones were. And do you know what I mean? Like, they became action spectaculars, you know what I mean? They were kind of like the blockbusters of their days. You know? I mean, and blockbusters weren't even a term back then. But James Bond was like an event film, you know? So, to be honest, like, they've made so much bank off this franchise. Do you know what I mean? Like, they're not going to rush another Bond without Craig. They like Craig. They're happy with his work. Otherwise, they could have recast for this one like that. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like that. And if they wanted to, they would have done it. They would have done it. And they were just like, cool, he'll come back, and he did. I want
to speculate here. Do you think the way they'll piece together? Well, not piece together. The way they'll end his era of Bond is to kill his wife.
Does he get married in this? Have they even said that?
No, I'm making a big assumption.
But they might do something like that.
No, that's what I mean. Do you know in the last Bond film he goes off with the
Oh yeah, but does he go off with her? Is she back in this one?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm making an assumption. That's how they'll end it, by killing her off, and he becomes the Bond that we know.
Oh, he's already the Bond we know.
No. What I mean is that's what they'll cut, and then whoever is introduced as the next Bond, he is introduced as that Bond
Oh, I don't know about that. I mean, maybe.
I
think you've thought about this way too much than I did. I don't know, man. I just think Daniel Craig has started something here, and I'd like to see him carry on.
Yeah.
As just for the consistency, because there's one thing I must say: the franchise has been the most consistent it's ever been. Like.
Since the Pierce Brosnan era, I guess.
No, not even since then.
Since the Roger Moore era.
Well, not even ever. I mean, we've gotten to the point where even side characters are the same actors, whereas before, like Bond would be the consistent, maybe M will be the same, etc.
Moneypenny,
Moneypenny as well. But then you'd get someone like Felix Leiter, who's a different guy every movie we get. But they've had the same guy be Felix Leiter, and had the same guy be Tanner, and have the same guy be, yeah. But that's what I'm getting at. Like, they've had the same cast throughout. And I kind of like, I wasn't the biggest Casino Royale fan, and I hated Quantum of Solace, but I've liked the last two entries, you know. And I really did like, what's his name? Christoph Waltz as Blofeld. I thought that was genius, and I like the whole idea that they're actually half brothers, which kind of gives both of them more depth, and I want to see more of that dynamic between the two, really. But we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I never really liked Daniel Craig as Bond, but as time has gone by, I've been able to accept it. I've still would rather see someone else's Bond, but I don't know who that could be, to be honest. I can't see past Craig at this point, but whatever the news, whoever, if it's Danny Boyle directing it, he might give him a good send off. So we'll see as news as it. I mean, because it's supposed to be going to production this year.
Yeah.
So we'll see as news trickles out on that. Another piece of news: Charlize Theron is confirmed for another Atomic Blonde film. So this will be a sequel to Atomic Blonde. So that clearly did the numbers enough for it to.
Oh yeah.
I mean, and she was really good in the role, especially that it was like an 8-minute sequence.
I don't know. I've never seen the movie.
Oh, you've never seen it?
I've actually never seen it.
Okay.
It was on my list for a long time, but for whatever reason, I missed it while it was in cinema, and I still need to catch it.
Yeah,
I know it's on Netflix, but I've just not had the time.
I know Colin didn't like it, but I saw it. It's more like an espionage film in the sense, in the true sense of what an espionage film is. It's not following people around. There's not actually much action in this film.
Oh really?
In Atomic Blonde anyway. But when there is action, it's really good. But it's a bit thin on plot, but it's.
Yeah.
It's. I know you haven't seen The Americans either, but that's what I would acquaint it to. It's like the TV show Americans, where you don't actually know what side she's playing on because she's playing both sides. So by the time you get to the end, you're kind of, oh what? Oh right, okay, it's a double, triple, quadruple bluff. But again, because you haven't seen the film, that won't mean anything to you. But it's. From the get-go, you see that she's, I'm not on your side. Am I on your side? I'm not on your side. Am I on your side? And so, I would say it's more of a espionage film. The first one was more of an espionage film than it was more like Red Sparrow. Have you seen Red Sparrow?
Yeah, I loved Red Sparrow. That was amazing.
So it's more like that,
right? Okay.
Than I would say like what John Wick is.
Okay.
Is
it true it's set in the same universe as John Wick, or?
That's what I heard. I don't know if that's.
You don't know what the connect is.
I don't know what the connect is,
sure.
but I don't. Who knows?
Right.
It could be. If it isn't, I'm sure they'll find a way to footnote it in. But considering that you haven't seen the first film, I guess you don't really have a comment on it.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, so.
Oh, okay.
Well, I guess she survives the first one, otherwise there wouldn't be.
Nah, she's dead. She's completely dead. Completely dead. But somehow they find a way to dig up her body and reanimate her, and she's kicking ass once again in Atomic Blonde 2.
Right, okay.
I don't know if it will be the same director as the first film, but and this is what I meant about, instead of making a James Bond female, because that's what they've been talking about as well, making James Bond female, just create a new character.
I actually think that's just talk.
I know it's talk, but I'm sick of hearing it.
All it is just talk, to just have the conversation and have people wig out and go nuts and yada yada yada.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, I'll give an example for fanboys. For years, comic book fans would be like, "Oh my god, they killed off this character in the comics. Rah, rah, rah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, he's got a new suit and it's shit." Rah, rah. After a while, you just kind of realise, like, Iron Spider, when that came out, people thought that was a bad idea.
Yeah.
And it was for how they executed it, but then, you know, years later, it's now part of the saga. Yeah. It's a footnote, and now it's a cool thing because it didn't stick. You know what I mean? It didn't stick. It's just like whichever superhero died, they're now alive and well again. You know, like...
Are you referring that to something?
I'm referring that to everybody that's died and come back again. But do you know what I mean? Like you got to understand, when they make these stories, they've got to try something new. Yeah. And, you know, sometimes that'll work, sometimes it won't work, but that's the whole point of storytelling to a degree. And, you know, when you go make your movie version, you just take the cool bits and, do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Make it work. That's why Iron Spider looks sick in this film, you know? Mm-hmm. I'm referring to Infinity War. But like, do you know what I mean? They take a bad idea that was bad at the time, but they make it fresh and new again because we know it's not going to be forever. Yeah. And I guess the point I'm trying to make is on that James Bond thing. Look, James Bond is a white English gentleman, okay? Mm-hmm. He's not a black guy. He's not a woman. He's not a Chinese chick. He's not Jackie Chan. It's you know, and okay, if this was a... You know what I mean? If this was a stage play, then fine, make it a black guy or a Chinese person or a black female or whatnot. Because it's a stage play, and when you're in the realm of a stage play, actors have to act in a role. In terms of a movie, the reason why these things won't happen, and this isn't a race thing, you think those studio heads don't know that if they changed it to made James Bond a woman, they'd lose money. You know what I mean? But at the same time, they're willing to take a chance on a lesser character. You know what I mean? Like a Nick Fury or someone. Because Nick Fury was white, but then when he was black in the comic books. You know, people lost their minds. But at the same time, he wasn't that big a character that no one really cared about. But then when he came in the movies, it had to be Samuel Jackson. You know what I mean? Like, it had to. But I don't know, man. It's one of those debates, those endgame debates that people just throw out there just for a reaction. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That until the powers that be actually do it, then don't take stock in it and don't rise to it or whatnot. You know?
Okay, so straight on from that, we go into. What can we go into? I'll save Netflix for last. So, Terminator 6, or whatever this new Terminator film is going to be called, has cast an actor that's in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. His name is... I can't see it here.
Ghost Rider.
That's his name. That is not his actual name, but I can't see his name here. Gabriel Luna. So he's in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. as Ghost Rider, and he plays it pretty well, to be honest. And so I can see where they've gone to get him for that, and I actually think he'll be pretty good. And I'm so glad that Arnie isn't the machine this time, as opposed to, I mean, I know he's in it.
I'm sure he is going to be.
No, that's what I mean. I know he's in it, but I'm glad he's not the machine. There's going to be
a new element.
A new element to it, and to be honest, as far as I'm concerned, Tim Miller with James Cameron can do no wrong for me. Well, we'll see, but
yeah,
they haven't. Two of James Cameron's films are the highest grossing films in the world.
Yeah.
The world. So I mean, I can't.
Like every time.
Yeah,
like every time.
Yeah.
Every time. That's what it was named at birth. It's like every movie you do will be the highest grossing movie ever made. Like literally, ever since Terminator 2, that has been the case. That has literally been the case.
And the guy's had a good hit rate.
Yeah.
I mean, he's.
Well, he doesn't do. You know what? He's gotten to that elite director status where he did his time in the 80s.
Yeah.
And then he'll bring a movie out every so often where it's an event.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like Quentin Tarantino's reached that status real early in his career. Like real early in his career.
Yeah.
But then he decided to take like 5 years off after Jackie Brown. He was like, I'm taking some time off. And that made you kind of want him to bring anything out. You know what I mean?
He came back with Kill Bill.
He came back with Kill Bill 1 and 2. And then, do you know what I mean? That's just you know, James Cameron is one of those directors. He's that kind of director. He's one of those elitist directors where, you know, you can't wait for him to like whoop out whatever's next. Now, I'm going to say this. I have not looked forward for a Terminator film since T2. Okay? Like the fact that James Cameron is attached to this in any form, shape or form, I will lap this up.
I would say the last one I looked forward to was T3 because I didn't know any better.
Oh, I knew.
But I was still excited though because it had been so long since the Terminator film. I was like, oh my god, Terminator 3! I never thought this would ever happen. It happened, and then it was.
I remember when T3. I initially was like, no, fuck off. This is going to be bollocks. It's not James Cameron and stuff. And what got me into it a little bit more was the trailers.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to lie, they were okay trailers. I can't remember
the trailers.
I remember the trailers for T3. Both trailers kind of got me in, you know, into it. Like I was like, oh my god, like this looks like it's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
And it, you know what I mean. Then I saw the movie. I was like, wow, this is T2 light.
I wouldn't even put it in the same breath as T2.
Mate, it's a TV movie. It felt like a
Not
TV
even that.
movie.
TV movies are pretty good these days.
Well, these days, but it felt like a 90s TV movie. That's what it felt to me. It was bad. But, yeah, I mean, yeah, I can't wait.
And if they're going to de-age Arnold as well, they've got Tim Miller, who's a video games. He's got a whole studio, and if anyone's going to de-age him, well, it's going to be Tim Miller.
Do you think they're going to use the Avatar tech on this film?
Yeah, definitely. They're going to throw everything at this film. They've already planned out the action scenes like 8 months ago.
No, a year ago.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. They planned the whole thing out a year ago. They planned it a year before they announced they were doing it. So that's how under the radar Cameron was with this stuff. But you know.
So I'm sure they'll throw the kitchen window in with this. Especially if you attach James Cameron's name to this with Tim Miller's now, it's people are going to want to see this.
Yeah.
Especially if Linda Hamilton's back, Arnie's back. You've got the two main hitters, and so it's gonna. As far as I'm concerned, the more news I hear about this, the more I'm happy about it. But him as a new Terminator, bring it on. I want to see what they bring with this guy. Yeah. Okay, the next piece of news is something very close to Terminator, Predator.
Before I'm just going to make a shout out. I'm just about to go on Facebook Live right now and introduce.
Facebook's a dirty name these days.
It is a dirty name these days. But let's just see who's on Facebook Live. We're not live right now, but I'll just make an announcement to the live people. Just a sec. Start Facebook Live. Hey guys, welcome to Zedos Gang. It's Sash and Joe.
Hey.
We're doing a little Facebook Live segment for Zedos Gang.
So
We're just about to talk about Shane's Black, The Predator. What we're talking about Shane's Black, The Predator.
So Shane Black is making a Predator film, as some of you know, and it's just had an extensive third act reshoot, and some are speculating that they've inserted Arnie into it, and I know that Shane Black himself has done a lot of rewriting for it, and so it's if people were feeling shaky about this one because I haven't seen a trailer, which is supposed to be this week or next week.
So you're telling me there's a Predator trailer coming this week or next week?
I think so, yeah.
Oh my god, I can't wait for this. Back to Shane Black. To Shane Black.
Yeah.
Look, man, dude was even in the original Predator. He was one of the actors. Okay, he knows Predator better than anybody, and he's one of the best writers on the fucking planet. So I say, damn it, just everyone needs to chill when they hear the word reshoots, because I think that word's getting abused like a dirty word lately. Every time someone says reshoots, they're like, "Oh my god, the movie's gonna be fucked." No, not at all.
But I never understood because I always knew what a reshoot was, but
Yeah.
I never knew when it turned from being a good thing to being a bad thing.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. It's just got a negative. It seems to be like a swear word for people that report on films anyway.
I'm gonna say
it's a swear word to them.
The latest little guy has reshoots going on.
Sure.
It does. But it's to punch it to make it a better product than than from what the footage we have.
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole point of reshoots, man. I mean, you need to do pickups and stuff every now and again. Sometimes you'll film something and then it'll get to the editing process and then you'll look at everything and you'll be like, well, what we got is good,
Mm-hmm.
but now I've got an amazing idea that could punch it up and be like that much better.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? I mean like your short film, Pious,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like you've taken that offline because you want to like punch it up a bit, right?
Yeah, more or less. I just wanted to recut it a little bit and do a few, just make it a bit tighter.
Yeah, and that's the whole deal. I mean, like everyone thinks they're a filmmaker now, and
Just because everyone is a filmmaker.
Everyone is now. Everyone with their fucking iPhone is. Or a phone of some devices. But
Mm-hmm.
do you know what I mean? Like, they hear these things and they read it in a magazine and then they're like, oh shit, I'm an expert now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, well, yeah, okay.
Well, on a completely different note,
Yeah.
when Wolverine retracts his claws, what is the sound it makes? Is it because my friend thinks it's schnit schnit?
Well, it depends. I mean, like, there's not a exact thing because in the comics...
Oh, you would get eaten alive.
No, in the comics, they use, like, different...
I know.
Yeah.
This is what I was trying to tell him. Other people will hear things differently and pronounce things differently.
Yeah.
And so the argument was that it was shring shring, and it was schnit schnit.
Schnick, schnick.
Yeah.
Oh, does he say schnick?
Have you ever met Diddy?
No, I don't know who Diddy is.
Diddy's
You have a friend called Diddy.
Yeah.
His parents named him Diddy.
No, that's his nickname.
Oh, that's his nickname. What's his real name?
I'm not gonna put his real name on
fair
there,
enough.
but people know him as Diddy.
Diddy.
Like my name's Jose.
Yeah, I keep forgetting people call you Jose. I keep forgetting people call you Jose.
Anyway, so there was I don't know how the argument started, but Chris and Diddy were saying, yeah, it's like Wolverine's claws, like schnit schnit. What do you mean schnit schnit? That's not schnit, it's shring shring. And there's I've got a whole bunch of footage about it.
No, they're right. It is schnicked.
Oh.
No.
No, this wasn't my argument, by the way. This is someone else's argument.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah.
But schnit schnit was the argument, and shring shring was the alternative.
Right.
What would you go with?
Schnick schnick.
Oh, you're gonna.
You know what? We'll get back to that. We'll get back to that offline.
Yeah. But I need to get that out because it's been a big thing for like a whole month.
Oh, Neil's joined in. Neil Copin has joined in the chat. Neil, type to me what's the sound of Wolverine's claws.
Oh, so you can't. It's see this. You need. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. But yeah, I'd like people to tell me what that actual sound is like. Okay, so the next story is for Paramount has at least one more Star Trek film.
One?
Yeah, at least one.
Okay.
I don't know why it's at least one. I thought they would have tried to carry this thing on for as long as they could. But as long as they do Tarantino's version of it, because he loves the original series, and the original series is gold. If no one's seen the original '60s Star Trek film, Star Trek series, they're missing out. They're seriously missing out on comedy gold.
Yeah,
it's the series is actually structured really well, but it's comedy because they overact. That's what I love about the 60s.
I just think there's just a charm to like anything made in the 60s.
Yeah,
it's that same kind. Like, look at Batman. Batman was fucking pimp in the 60s. Star Trek was cool in the 60s. I mean, like, I don't know, man. Could you imagine making something with that same aesthetic? You can't recreate that, can you?
It would be really hard to.
Yeah.
It'd be really hard to.
Oh, Neil has come back. It's schnicked.
Again, it's not my argument. It's not my argument. Yeah, Chris is going to be happy with that one, or unhappy, depending on where that goes. But
so hang on, wait. So back to the news. So Paramount only have plans for one more Star Trek.
So does Zachary Quinto says that they have plans for at least one more.
At least one more.
Yeah. So
is that because all the actors are signed for one more, or is that because they're...
That's probably it, and
right.
Two, they have lost faith in the series because it's been diminishing returns.
You know what? They should take a chance on the Quentin Tarantino Star Trek. Two reasons why.
Of course they should.
There are two reasons. One, it's Quentin Tarantino. Okay, everyone will watch it, even if they disagree with the choice of director.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone will fucking watch it because they want to see what the fuck he does with it.
Yeah.
Second of all, I want him to do it, so it means that we get an extra movie out of him rather than him retiring on his 10th movie.
Well, that's technically won't be his because.
Well, no, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's not part of the 10.
Yeah.
It's like something extra.
It's a passion project.
Yeah, it's like something extra that was added. You know? So.
Yeah, but I don't even believe he's retiring anyway. He's going to do his 10 films, and then he's going to work, or maybe work on other people's films, or do franchises or something.
Yeah.
I think that's literally what it means. I can't see it, but he has got a very big distaste for digital film. So.
Well, that's going to be interesting doing Star Trek. I mean, isn't most of it in space? I'm just saying.
Oh yeah, it's all filmed in
blue
space.
Screen and
it's
stuff.
all filmed in space. Star Trek's all filmed in space.
He has to get out of his comfort zone there.
I would love to see it. I think that would bring people, even people that never watched Star Trek film before, that would bring Quentin Tarantino's doing Star Trek.
People would be like, "What? Like, I'm not even into Star Trek, but I want to see this film."
Yeah, you'd bring in a completely new audience.
Well, that's an example. Yeah, that's a good example. So yeah.
So yeah, I mean, despite what did you even make of the last Star Trek film? Did you see it?
Star Trek Sabotage.
What?
Star Trek Sabotage. Because of the song.
Oh, yeah, I totally forgot that song was in it.
Anyway, no, to be quite honest, I am not the biggest Star Trek guy. Mm-hmm. Okay, there are no lightsabers in those things. No, I'm not the biggest Star Trek guy. I never was. I never grew up on it. When I'd see...
I didn't grow up on Star Trek either, but I still love it.
I'm going to say something which is really blasphemous now. I watch parts of The Next Generation and fall asleep.
Okay.
So, there's a lot of people that, love that show, and I just couldn't get into it. But, you know what? As I got older, I got an appreciation for the 60s one.
Because it's awesome.
Because I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And then, with the reboots, I've actually thoroughly enjoyed them. Because I never got into the Star Trek movies, the original series.
Those are awesome as well.
I watched that first one.
Oh, the one where it's just the ship.
Yeah, I fell asleep in that one, and then I saw the one with the whales, and I thought that was shit.
No, that's awesome. It's brilliant. You don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know, man.
You have no idea what you're talking about.
I just did not. I just couldn't get into it, man. I just couldn't. I liked the second movie though.
The Wrath of Khan.
Yeah, that was good.
I don't know. It took you a long time to warm to that one.
No. I like it, but I don't think it's a classic.
It is a classic.
But that's another story for
You'll get
another
murdered
time.
on the street for saying it's not a classic.
Yeah, I know. I'm getting that shit right now. People are judging me now.
People know where you go to the bar, man. So you better watch yourself, dude.
Assassinated for that.
Yeah, easily, man. Pick you up with a sniper. But yeah, it's I to be honest, I like Kirk's Star Trek.
Yeah.
I don't mind Picard's, but it picked up again when JJ did a really good thing with the reboot where it's still the original, but it's alternative original.
Yeah.
And they both still exist on a alternate plane of existence. So I love that he mastered that, and I love that first film of the night film or whatever in line it is.
Yeah.
And what they did with Khan, I didn't really feel great about. I don't mind that was Into Darkness. I actually liked that film, but parts of it didn't sit well with me.
Yeah.
The third film, what was it called?
Beyond.
Yeah. A bit too much on the other side. It went. It was good. I did like it, but I forgot about it instantly. I remember the Into Darkness more than I remembered anything about Beyond.
Beyond. Okay. Right.
I liked that character. What's her
Idris
name?
Elba?
No. There was a character that with white face paint. She was all white and she had streaks.
Oh yeah.
I really liked her character.
Oh, okay.
She was really.
The one with Simon Pegg most of the movie.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
That was cool. She was cool in that. Again, there's not much more we can say on this. I mean, if there's only one more film that Paramount are willing to do, then this next film has to that they're releasing has to do Dam Busters. So
yeah,
we'll see. I'm going to move on to the next topic now.
Okay.
Okay, so the next topic is It Chapter 2. Lines up James McAvoy, Bill Hader, and Jessica Chastain for this next movie for when they're adults. And Jessica Chastain was. I think she wanted to go for it. She was on a talk show. She said, "Yeah, I'll do it," even before it was a thing.
Oh right, yeah.
And
well, everyone wants to be in it, right? Everybody and his dog wants to be in this franchise.
Or now, yeah, because it's made like $1 bajillion. So I mean, it's all the roles in it are good for any actor that they got for it, essentially, I think, because the parts it's already been written in the sense that there's a book. But in terms of the three actors that I got for it, I mean, James McAvoy, yeah, he's definitely a key kid. You know, he's a great actor. Bill Hader, I've only ever seen him in Saturday Night Live and a few of the Lonely Island sketches, but yeah, I guess. As for the other, they still got a roster to fill out.
Yeah.
We'll just have to wait and see. Did you see the last film?
Which one?
It. Did you see it?
I saw it. It was fantastic. I love that movie. It had a cool little Goonies vibe to it. It was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't. What's it? I just don't see the point in. Hang on, wait. Let me.
Oh, we're off Facebook Live now.
Let me rethink.
Oh, we're off Facebook Live now.
Yeah, we're off Facebook Live now.
What happened?
No, nothing happened. Just just a teaser, right?
Oh, fair enough.
It's a bit of a teaser. You know, we don't really give them the whole podcast. Come on, man.
Fair enough.
What was I going to say? Yeah. I love that first movie.
Mm-hmm.
I love the fact that it was fresh and it had brand new talent and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Now, because the kids are older, they're casting them in their adult forms with like every famous person under the sun.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would have been a fantastic franchise to launch new careers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's great. Look, all of these actors are very talented people, and I could totally see them being the older version of God knows who and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't excite me. A good movie excites me, and the fact that they're, it's become something now, like a franchise almost. I think it would have been great to save that money rather than on famous people, and just cast, give
good, deserved actors.
Yeah, deserved actors or unknown actors or people just breaking in a shot, because that could have been a platform to launch them out into their careers now. And plus they would look how much money that first one made. That first one made a lot of fucking money. So I think they should have really saved it. Maybe had one famous person just to, you know what I mean? Just to go, oh, that person's in it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But it was not this kind of thing before, and we'll see. But they've gone this route now by putting all these guys in, so we'll see what they do. I mean, there's not a person there that makes me go, oh, that's a bad idea, because they're all fucking talented. And then you've got McAvoy, who's multi-talented. Do you know what I mean? It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah. I mean, I'm inclined to agree with you.
Yeah.
It's just the way that they're building momentum, and it's essentially it will bring more people into this. Whoever didn't see it the first time will see that film and then come into this film. It's just going to make them more money.
Yeah, sure.
And I mean, I see where it's going, but you're absolutely right in the sense that they could have cast anyone for this.
Yeah. And
it still would have been a good film if the film had a good script. So. Yeah, I totally agree with you. In the sense that these are the only three that they've got so far. I'd like to see who fills out the other roles, especially the. I can't remember the kid that was the black kid. I can't remember.
The black kid and the chubby kid.
Yeah. I'm sure now that they've got like. Three famous people, moderately famous people in it. They have to keep a consistency now. So, I don't know who they would fill.
John Boyega.
There you go. You never know, man. Okay, so the next topic I want to talk about is Netflix and the Cannes Film Festival. Cannes.
Yep.
So Netflix have pulled out of the festival because the films what was they don't feel that they're going to be taken seriously at Cannes or Cannes.
They've pulled out, or Cannes have pulled out.
No. Netflix have pulled out.
Right. Okay.
And so I think, I mean, would you agree with other, or the older elite that films on Netflix are more or less TV movies? Or straight to video movies? Or what used to be deemed as straight to video movies? Netflix is essentially a rental service.
It's a tough one, man. Because there's some really good stuff on Netflix.
Yeah, but that's usually, I would say there's a lot of good TV on Netflix, but there isn't.
Okay, here's the thing. Whenever it was straight to DVD or straight to video, it was always a lower budget production. It was always something lower budget. It was always like something that was never with the intent of becoming a theatrical picture. You know what I mean? It was something like a throwaway movie. But the thing is, these Netflix films are not throwaway movies. Some of them are legit films that were filmed with the intent of getting a theatrical distribution. But obviously, they didn't luck out. Netflix jumped at it because they're like, hey, we've got a platform for you to shine. And do you see what I mean? And when you look at the quality of the Netflix pictures, they're just as good as the theatrical stuff. They could easily like hire out a cinema and play it there, but they choose not to. Well, I'm sure they've done it with one or two, you know, to try and enter film festivals and stuff. I do believe that's the case.
No, they have.
They have.
Oakjar.
But I do think that they do need their own, rather than be branded the same as a TV movie. I think they should have their own thing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, their own event.
Their own event, and not just
that's what I believe as well.
Not just for Netflix, for all streaming services. You know, because it's not just them. You know, they've become a buzzword because they're the best in the biz doing it. You know what I mean? But then you've got to look at Amazon Prime, and you've got to look at YouTube, and you've got to look at everything else, and you just got to go, well, they need their own thing. They need their own award ceremony, or they need their own something to get the recognition that they deserve. Because they'll get the snooty people with the Oscars, and, you know, television people with the television people. But I just think that Netflix, look, I'm not going to slag off Netflix. I utilise my Netflix. I watch a lot of Netflix, and I think that it's just becomes a good ground for indie filmmakers to go out and make something and put it on a platform where their work will get seen. You know what I mean? Which is more than what we ever had back in the day. It's created brand new opportunities, and you know, I get why certain people, directors and stuff, might be a bit, because you know, they want their movies shown in the theatre for the theatre experience. You know?
Because the cameras that they're using are made for a big screen.
Exactly. So I get that, and I totally get that argument. But to completely write Netflix off as a lesser model, as a lesser platform, is ridiculous.
Why is that?
I think it's ridiculous because it's putting people out there that probably wouldn't get, that probably wouldn't be out there. And also, it's creating films that wouldn't get made in the current studio system. Stuff like Bright. Bright is so out there, that would never get made by a studio. Okay? It's so out there. It's so left field. It's so, you know what I mean? Like, it's fairies and stuff like that, and goblins and stuff, but do you know what I mean? Like, that's a high concept thing for a studio, but Netflix took a chance on it, and it's one of their biggest hitters. The fact that Will Smith was attached probably helped too, and you know, it was original. I felt it was an original movie in terms of for what it was, and what else was there? Mute as well. Mute would never have got made. Okay, Mute probably wouldn't have even had the success that it did if it wasn't for Netflix.
What's Mute?
Mute is the one with Ant-Man. What's his name? Paul Rudd, and I can't remember who else is in it. But Paul Rudd is a villain. He's like a bit of a gangster, and it's set in like a Blade Runner-esque city. It's like a film noir kind of thing, and the main character's this Amish guy who's mute. He can't speak, so he uses sign languages, and his girlfriend disappears. So he's on a quest to go find his girlfriend, basically. So it's a really good movie. It's directed by Duncan Jones, who did Warcraft, and Duncan Jones is a fantastic director. And what's really funny was he even said he wrote Mute before he did Warcraft, before he did Source Code, before he even did Moon. Okay, but he took it and it wasn't the right time, or no one would invest in it and stuff. It's kept going. Netflix offered him the opportunity to go do his first original movie, and they were like, "Yeah, we like it. We'll take it. We'll make it." You know what I mean? Because they're after content and they don't care. And you know what? It found a place. People saw it. There's a big buzz about it. You know what I mean? Like for the amongst the sci-fi community, and it's a good film. It's a really good film, and we would, if that had come out in cinema, it would have had like a mediocre opening, and it probably would have gone to one show a week and just disappeared. But Netflix has kind of opened up this hub where these smaller films will get seen and get an audience and have people talk about them on social media and stuff. And you know what I mean? More than if they just release them into the cinema and then they just get, they just get knocked down by the Avengers or something. And you know what I mean? And I will agree. In some cases, those films. Some of those films probably deserve to be seen in a theatre, but if no one's watching them, Netflix have created the opportunity for those filmmakers to get their voice heard. So I think there should be an award ceremony for streaming services so it can have its own, they can have their own moment to shine. They don't need the Oscars, they don't need the BAFTAs, they need their own thing. If someone hasn't set that up, someone should set that up. Yeah,
I mean, I can't remember what I was going to ask you. Do you feel that the theatre experience is, one, too expensive, two, people can't be bothered to go to the theatre anymore, for free, I can't remember what my third point was, but because I think what it's down to now is that okay, here's a for instance. So A Quiet Place. I don't feel you could experience that film at home and have the same feeling that you would have with an audience.
I agree with you,
and I think that's due to because one, it's that film's about sound design. If you're watching that film on your laptop, that's not going to do anything for you.
Yeah, I agree. I do agree. I do agree with you on that.
Yeah, I'm just there's.
But it's the same.
Hold on.
Yeah,
there's specific films that you can't expect. If you have the advantage of having a good sound system set up. Yeah. I mean, even I have a big issue with sound bars because I think they're full of shit. But because you're not getting everything out of that. So, I mean, it's something, but it's like putting a giant speaker, one speaker over there.
Yeah.
Again, there's a tip. Because I don't really mind streaming films. I don't personally like streaming films because I know there's a quality issue with me. Yeah. But I'm a unique weirdo.
Yeah. Well, you're not the only person. There's a lot of people that think the way you do. And like you said, there's a lot of directors that would prefer to have their vision seen the way it's intended in the theatre. Do you know what I mean?
I'll gladly make a TV show and have it streamed.
Oh sure. Because you're going in there with making the intent that it is a TV show.
Yeah.
So the experience is a bit different.
Yeah.
But do you know what I mean? Like each movie's a case by case kind of, case by case thing. And
I think that's where it's the industry will divide itself into we'll have the tentpole films in the cinema.
Yeah.
And like you'll get your Avengers, you'll get your Jurassic Worlds, it'll be all spectacle, and that's what you'll be paying for.
Yeah.
With indie films, I think more and more you'll start to see it on streaming sites.
Yeah.
And I think that's where things are going. I mean, even with some of the blockbusters, some of them are costing like how many? It's 200 million, 230 million to make. Yeah. I mean, it's getting ridiculous. George Lucas said it himself. If you don't keep budget down, you're gonna get diminishing returns.
I think they've said that. Him and Spielberg have been championing that throughout the 90s.
Yeah,
man.
And they're right. Look at cinema right now. They're freaking right. Look at the ticket prices. Yeah. If the cinemas, if the budgets of these films were kept down, the ticket prices of the cinemas, I mean, they would go up, but it wouldn't go up as high. I mean, it's almost 30, 40 quid to go to a cinema, or in dollars, I'm not sure how much that would be, but it's getting to the point where you can only go to the cinema. Like I used to go to cinema all the time, but but I can't afford it. It's
Well, I guess it depends where you go.
sure,
Yeah.
but there's also there's quality control as well, because there's
Yeah.
certain people at certain cinemas that don't know what they're doing,
Yeah, that's true.
especially with the visual and sound setup.
Yeah.
So it's you don't want to have to think about that when you're going to see, you
Yeah.
just want to, okay, the sound's going to be good, the picture's going to be good, I've paid for my ticket for all of this experience to be freaking unique, good experience. You don't want to, oh, that speaker's popping over there, or
Yeah.
there's a red bar on the side of the screen, or the screen's gone out. You don't want to think about that stuff. So I can understand why people, do you know what, just stay at home and just stream it. And I've been pulled left and right on this, personally, because I really like film, and I like seeing film on a big screen, especially when it's a good film.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's that really. On that note, that was the last topic that we had, and so this is the end of the show. So, Satch, where can we find you?
You can find me on Sashman3 on Twitter.
Anywhere else?
That's it.
You're not on YouTube?
I'm on YouTube, I'm not putting it out there.
Why not?
Because I'm not.
And you can find this podcast on YouTube, SoundCloud, Stitcher Radio, and on iTunes. Just put in Zedos Gang and you'll find it right there. On YouTube, if you push the bell, if you want to subscribe to this channel, just push the bell so you get a notification that we've actually done something and you can see it. And so, yeah, that with all. I think that's about it, and we'll see you again next week, probably with another guest. But yeah, hey ho, we're out.